Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive.
It's great to be back.
So today we're going to be diving into the world of passive income passive income. You know, everyone wants to figure out how to make money while they sleep.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're going to be looking at today. And the way we're going to be doing this is we found a podcast episode that outlines 15 different paths to passive income.
15, that's a lot.
It is a lot, and we're not going to be able to go super in-depth on all of them.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to hit the high points and give you a taste of what's out there.
Awesome.
So yeah, we've got everything from digital products to real estate and even some more like unusual things.
Oh, I love unusual.
Yeah. So let's just jump right in, I think. So the first category that this podcast episode looks at is earning through digital products.
Okay.
And you know, the first thing on the list is ebooks.
Ebooks.
Which, you know, you might think ebooks really, is that still a thing? But, you know, I think if you have expertise in any field, you can package that knowledge into an ebook and sell it online.
Yeah. That's the beauty of the digital age. You can create once and sell it over and over again.
Exactly. And the podcast actually highlights this photographer who created a free ebook as a way to get people into their paid online photography course.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
So it's a good lead magnet.
Yeah.
And, you know, speaking of online courses, that's the next digital product on the list.
Right.
And I think everyone knows somebody who's like always on Skillshare or Coursera or Masterclass or learning something new. And
all the time.
yeah. So now imagine if you were the one teaching those courses.
Yeah.
You can make some pretty good passive income.
I mean, you've got to put in the work to create the course, but then after that, it can be pretty passive.
Yeah. You know, you need to keep it up to date.
Right.
You know, maybe add new modules and things. But yeah, you're not actively working with clients or anything like that. So yeah, so next up we have something a little bit more visual, and that's stock photos and videos.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like everyone's a photographer these days.
Right.
But can you really make passive income from it?
Yeah, but actually, you absolutely can. So
Yeah.
stock photo websites like Shutterstock, iStock, Getty Images, they're always looking for new content because businesses, bloggers, website owners, they all need visuals.
Yeah.
And every time somebody licenses your photo or your video, you get a royalty.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
So it can be a really great way to generate some passive income, especially if you have a good eye for photography or videography.
Okay, so I'm sensing a theme here. It's like you have to have some sort of expertise or skill
Yeah, pretty much.
that you can then package up and sell.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've looked at earning through digital products. Now let's move into investing.
Okay.
Because the podcast episode we're talking about has got a couple of interesting investment options, starting with dividend stocks.
Okay.
Have you ever invested in dividend stocks? Yeah, so for those who don't know, a dividend stock is basically a stock that pays you a portion of the company's profits just for owning the stock.
Yeah, it's like getting paid to own something,
Yeah,
which is always a nice feeling.
it is nice. And the podcast episode actually uses the example of Coca-Cola. They say you could buy a share of Coca-Cola and then just sit back and collect those quarterly dividend payments.
Yeah, and those dividend payments can really add up over time, especially if you reinvest them.
Oh yeah, that's what they call DROTs, right?
CURICs, yes, dividend reinvestment plans.
So basically, instead of taking that cash, you just buy more of that stock.
That's exactly it, and it's a great way to compound your returns over the long term.
Yeah, compound interest is a beautiful thing.
It really is.
All right, so dividend stocks, DREPs, that's great for people who have a little bit of money to invest, but what if you're just starting out?
Right.
What if you don't have a ton of cash to throw around?
Well, the podcast episode actually brings up a really interesting option for that, and it's called real estate crowdfunding.
Real estate crowdfunding.
Yeah, have you heard of this?
Yeah, I have heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, so basically it allows you to invest in real estate without having to buy an entire property.
That's cool.
Yeah. So you can invest as little as like $500 on some of these platforms, and you basically become a part owner of a property or a portfolio of properties.
Wow, so it's like owning a tiny sliver of a skyscraper.
Exactly. And you get to share in the rental income and any appreciation in the property's value.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really great way to get into real estate investing without needing a lot of money up front.
So I like that we've got kind of a range of investment options here. We've got dividend stocks, which are kind of like the classic, tried and true. And then we've got this real estate crowdfunding, which is kind of like the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
A little bit more techie, a little bit more
Modern.
Yeah, modern.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's digital products and investments, but I think we need to take a break. And when we come back, we'll dive into some of the more unusual passive income ideas.
Oh, I can't wait. All right, see you in a bit.
All right. Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've covered digital products investments.
Right.
But this podcast episode actually has a bunch more ideas.
It does.
And some of them are pretty out there.
Oh, I like out there.
So let's jump into those. So the next one on the list is peer-to-peer lending.
Okay, peer-to-peer lending.
Have you ever heard of this?
I have heard of it.
Okay.
So
come and try it.
Yeah, so basically it's like you become the bank.
Right.
So instead of putting your money in a savings account,
Yeah.
you lend it directly to other people or businesses.
Oh, wow.
Through these platforms like Lending Club and Prosper.
Okay.
And then you get paid interest on those loans.
So it's like cutting out the middleman.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So the podcast episode gives this example. They say you could lend out $1,000 at an 8% interest rate.
Okay.
And, over a year, you'd make $80 in interest.
Okay, not bad.
Not bad,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I think the big question with peer-to-peer lending is, what about the risk?
Right. What if people don't pay you back?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a real risk.
Yeah, so the podcast episode emphasizes the importance of diversifying your loans.
Okay.
So instead of lending $1,000 to one person,
Right.
you lend maybe $100 to 10 different people.
So you spread the risk.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that way if one person defaults, you're not losing your entire investment.
Right, right.
Okay, so we've talked about digital products, we've talked about investments, we've talked about peer-to-peer lending.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's move into something that's become really popular in recent years, and that's content creation.
Okay.
So the first one on the list is YouTube.
YouTube.
I think everyone has thought about starting a YouTube channel at some point.
Yeah.
But can you really make passive income from it?
Yeah, you can. So,
Right.
it takes time and effort to build up a following.
Sure.
But once you do, you can monetize your videos through ad sponsorships and even selling merchandise.
And the great thing about YouTube is that your videos can continue to generate income for years to come.
So it is passive in a way.
It is passive once you've put in the work to create the content.
Yeah.
And the podcast episode, they actually talk about these different YouTubers who have built successful channels in all sorts of niches.
Like what kind of niches?
Like tech reviews, fitness gaming, personal finance,
Oh,
pretty much anything you can think of.
interesting. So it's not just like cat videos. And
Not just cat
I don't
videos,
look up tutorials anymore.
although there's still plenty of those out there.
Yeah, but there's more to it.
Yeah, you can find a niche that you're passionate about and build a community around it.
That's cool. And then speaking of building a community, the podcast episode also talks about podcasting,
Podcasting.
which is funny because we're doing a podcast right now.
We are.
But, it can be a way to generate passive income as well.
Right.
So how does that work?
Well, once you build up an audience, you can start getting sponsors. Or you can offer premium content that people pay for.
Like a subscription.
Yeah, like a subscription or maybe bonus episodes or something like that.
Okay.
And there are even platforms where listeners can donate directly to their favorite podcasters.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So there are definitely ways to make money from podcasting.
So it sounds like content creation is kind of the name of the game these days if you want to generate some passive income.
Yeah. Whether it's YouTube, podcasting, blogging, writing ebooks, there are so many opportunities out there.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground already, but this podcast episode has even more ideas.
It does.
So let's keep going. What's next on the list?
Well, next up, we have print-on-demand stores.
Print-on-demand stores.
Yeah. So have you ever seen those websites where you can design your own t-shirts or mugs?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's basically what print-on-demand is.
Okay.
You create the design, and then a company like Teespring or Redbubble will print it on the product and ship it to the customer when someone orders it.
So you don't have to deal with any of the inventory or shipping.
Nope, you just create the design and upload it to the platform.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's a really low-risk way to start an online business.
Okay, so what kind of things can you sell through print-on-demand?
Pretty much anything you can print out. So t-shirts, mugs, phone cases, tote bags, pillows.
Wow.
The list goes on and on.
So it's like a whole online store?
Yeah, it's like having your own online store without having to deal with all the hassle of traditional retail.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so print-on-demand stores. That's a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this next one might seem like a big jump from print-on-demand, but the podcast episode suggests exploring app development.
Development.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's a big one.
It seems kind of intimidating.
It can be, but it can also be incredibly rewarding.
So how do you even get started with app development?
Well, you can learn to code yourself. There are tons of resources available online.
Okay.
Or you can hire a developer to build the app for you.
Okay, so if you have an idea but you don't know how to code.
Right. You can find someone who can help you bring that idea to life.
Okay, so then once you have the app, how do you make money from it?
So there are a few different ways you can sell the app directly through app stores.
Yeah.
You can offer in-app purchases, or you can even use a subscription model.
Oh, like those freemium games?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so there are a lot of different options. Okay, so we've got print-on-demand stores, app development. Now, let's move into something a little bit different, and that's affiliate marketing.
Affiliate marketing.
Have you ever done any affiliate marketing?
I have a little bit.
Okay, so how does that work?
So basically, you promote other people's products or services.
Okay.
And if someone makes a purchase through your unique affiliate link, you get a commission.
Oh, so it's like you're recommending products to your audience.
Exactly.
Right.
And you're getting paid for those recommendations.
And you can do this through like your blog or your social media.
Yeah, pretty much anywhere you have an online presence.
So what are some popular affiliate marketing platforms?
So some of the big ones are Amazon Associates, ClickBank ShareSale, CJ affiliate.
Wow.
There are a lot of options out there.
So it seems like affiliate marketing is a pretty popular way to generate passive income.
It is. It's a great way to monetize your existing audience.
Okay, so we've got affiliate marketing, we've got all these other ideas. I'm starting to get a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
It is a lot to take in.
But it's exciting too.
It is exciting.
To know that there are so many different ways to generate passive income.
Yeah, there really is something for everyone.
Exactly.
All right, so we've still got a few more ideas to cover from this podcast episode, so let's take another break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll dive into the final stretch.
Sounds good.
All right, so we've covered a ton of ground already.
We have.
But we are not done yet.
Not even close.
This podcast episode is jam-packed with ideas.
It is.
And we want to make sure we hit all the highlights. So the next one on the list is selling website domains.
Oh, domain names.
Yeah, it's like digital real estate, right?
It is kind of.
You buy a domain name hoping that it'll become valuable someday.
Right, like if you'd bought google.com back in the day.
Exactly.
You'd be sitting pretty right now.
Yeah, but how do you know which domain names to buy?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
The podcast episode gives a few tips.
Okay, like what?
Like, look for short, memorable names.
Okay.
And domains that are related to emerging industries.
So, like, if you think the next big thing is going to be, like, underwater basket weaving.
Exactly.
You should buy underwaterbasketweaving.com.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
You want to be ahead of the curve.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so selling website domains, that's an interesting one.
It is.
Now let's talk about something a little bit more hands-on.
Okay.
Creating and selling an online business.
Oh, wow.
So this is a little bit more involved than some of the other things we've talked about.
Right. It's not exactly passive.
But it can be very lucrative.
It can be.
So the podcast episode actually interviews this guy who built a successful drop shipping business.
Okay.
And then he sold it for 6 figures.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It is. And, he talks about the importance of finding a niche.
Right.
Creating a great product or service, and then marketing it effectively.
That's key.
Yeah, you can't just build it and expect people to come.
You got to get the word out.
You got to hustle.
Exactly.
Okay, so creating and selling an online business. That's a big one.
It is.
But you know what's kind of a twist on that?
What's that?
Is buying an existing online business.
Oh, so instead of starting from scratch,
exactly,
you buy one that's already making money.
Yeah, and there are actually websites that specialize in this.
Like what?
Like Flippa.
Flippa, okay.
Yeah, so you can go on there and you can see all these different online businesses for sale.
Wow, so you could buy like an e-commerce store or a blog or something like that.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but the podcast episode emphasizes the importance of doing your due diligence before you buy any business.
You don't want to buy a lemon.
Exactly. You want to make sure that the financials are solid.
Yeah.
And that the traffic is real.
Makes sense.
Okay, so we've got selling websites, selling online businesses. Now, let's move into something a little bit more creative.
Okay.
Digital design and graphics.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So have you ever thought about selling like website templates?
I have, actually.
Or social media graphics?
Yeah.
Or even just like illustrations?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a market for that.
There is, and there are platforms like Creative Market and Etsy where you can sell your digital creations.
And you only have to create them once.
Exactly.
And then you can sell them over and over again.
Yeah, it's a great way to leverage your skills and generate some passive income.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've got digital design, we've got all these other things. Now let's talk about something that's a little bit more personal. Online coaching and consulting.
Oh, coaching.
Yeah.
That's a big one these days.
It is. And, the podcast episode tells this really inspiring story about this life coach who built a really successful online business.
Wow.
Just by offering coaching sessions and group programs.
Yeah, people are really looking for guidance and support these days.
They are.
Yeah.
And, the great thing about online coaching is that you can work with clients from anywhere in the world.
Right.
You set your own rates. You set your own hours.
Very flexible.
Yeah, it's a great way to build a business that fits your lifestyle.
Definitely.
Okay, so online coaching and consulting, that's another great option.
It is.
Now, a podcast episode actually mentions a few more ideas.
Okay.
But I think we're going to kind of lump them all together because they're all kind of in this realm of creating and selling digital products or services.
Okay.
So things like creating and selling software or plugins, writing online content.
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah, those are all great options.
Yeah, and the podcast episode really emphasizes the importance of finding your niche and providing value to your audience.
Yeah, if you can solve a problem for people, then you're going to be successful.
Yeah, people are willing to pay for solutions.
Absolutely.
So I think we've covered pretty much everything
we have
from this podcast episode.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
But it was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys got some ideas.
I hope so too.
For how to generate some passive income.
There are so many options out there.
There are.
So it's just a matter of finding the ones that resonate with you.
Exactly.
And taking action.
So thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It was a pleasure.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.